Rudo.
Yo, Dre.
How you doing, my man? How's this
Living
Friday?
the dream.
Yeah, you having a good Friday here? You getting ready for
I'm
the Avs game in
it
Arizona?
hasn't quite picked up yet, but we're about to get there, so looking forward to it.
All right. I can see the blood rushing to your head with
Yeah.
excitement as I
Looking a little rosy, just putting
There
on
you
my
go.
Cale Makar face today,
There you go.
making
There
it
you
work.
go. This is a special episode for me. I love hockey all of a sudden, and I don't always get to talk about it, but I bore our listeners with a lot of it. So now I get a full episode with you who actually know your stuff, Rudo. And the odds makers have said some real interesting odds for this show. I was seeing a lot of 90-second over-under Kraken talk. Let's see if we can hit that up, because last I saw you, unbeknownst to me, you probably knew, I was inebriated beyond my means after a tailgate and blabbing your ear off about how the Kraken, I don't understand how I still get all this great value on the Kraken. Maybe that bubble has burst the last few games. Certainly not great value against the Avs. And yesterday's game was kind of a shit show against Dallas. But how do you explain it, man? If you explain it.
Look, it's the goalie factor, right? All it takes is Philip Grubauer to have one decent hockey game, and Seattle looks like a decent team. But Grubauer is playing; he's literally the worst goalie in the NHL right now. So,
right. No, and I mean, yesterday, great game by them right there with Dallas. Chris Driedger's in goal. Yep. And I've said this, if Driedger's in goal, they're a different team. They play with a different sort of confidence. It's been nuts to watch.
Yeah, it's impressive how consistently bad I think Philip Grubauer has been. And there's definitely money to be had there, because we're, for Seattle, 35 games into the season now, and you're waiting for this turnaround for Grubauer to happen, and it just hasn't come. So keep betting against him while you can.
Yeah, fair enough. I really have realized that in a lot of ways, hockey betting can be not all that dissimilar to baseball betting, where the starting pitcher or goalie is going to have a huge impact on where the line is set. And I think you're spot on with that Seattle analysis. Let's get into our big threes, because I wanna reserve some time for the second half where we can get into futures. Maybe I'll twist your arm and have you make a parlay for the day. Lots of great daily
parlay
specials
in my big three already. So
yeah, there you go. Beautiful. And there's a very intriguing Avs odds boost at DraftKings Sportsbook here too. So I will let you go first with your big three.
Yeah, so the first one so far this season has been literal free money for me most nights. Cale Makar with a power play point, particularly against a team like Arizona at plus 115.
Yeah.
Come on. It doesn't even matter if it's an assist or a goal. DraftKings wants you to win money on Cale Makar. That's what this bet is. So that one I think is easy to get in on no matter where you're at. The other one, I try to find creative ways to get money in on the Avs in games that they should win. So you get even money against Arizona if you pick the Avs to win the first period and the game together. So all they have to do, yes, they have to win, which their favorites normally, like I think they're minus 250 in this game or something ridiculous to win. So if they're up 1-0 at the end of the first and then they win, you get even money odds on a bet on the Avs. So I think it's a super interesting way to get a little bit better odds on the Avs in a game they should win. Yeah. So
yeah, that's really nice. That's in game parlays.
Yeah, it's in the already created parlays.
Wow,
that
nicely done, man.
up, so
that's really impressive stuff. Good work by you in the plus money there as well. Nice. And I mean, that first pick, it's interesting, if that same exact prop for McKinnon over to have a power play point minus 155.
Yeah,
Makar, you're getting plus value. They should basically be even, right?
Right. Anytime McKinnon's going to score on the power play, it's going to be an assist from Makar and vice versa on that, right?
Exactly,
so find them a little bit of the soft line there, maybe, I think, with Makar.
Beautiful. All right, close it out for us.
Yeah, and then finally going away from the Avs, I have the Canes given the 1.5 and still beating the Canucks. Canes are one of the best teams in the NHL right now. They have 8 losses in regulation on the season, so they're a winning machine. The Canucks, on the other hand, kind of drowning, under 500 at this point in the year,
Mm-hmm.
and that's after
Mm-hmm.
a pretty hot run that they had at the
Right.
end of December. So the Canes are just a better hockey team. When you're playing with hockey and giving goals, it often does come down to things like empty netters and that. But the Canes are a good enough team that they should beat Vancouver. You get good money again if you take the 1.5.
Yeah, any of the daily specials I like to do for like highest scoring team of the day. If it's ads with a team like the Canes or Florida, I got to be careful because guys like have been unbelievable. And that game on Saturday, so nice little weekend value for
Yep.
you on that one. Love that. Let's go to my big three, Yaya. We've got let's start from the bottom. Frankie in goal and a backup goalie for the Yotes here. That should spell trouble. Yesterday, I thought I had the over with Stars Kraken. Was not the case. But, when the Avs play, it's a different deal. You get that at 6.5, minus 120. I will gladly take that when you've got Prosvetsov and Frankie. And, well, obviously, we all expect the Avs to win pretty handedly. It's a home and home against the Yotes, who it's going to be really easy to overlook. I expect some sloppy, inconsistent hockey from the Avs too. Wouldn't be surprised if they let a couple soft ones in, as we don't see the top two lines as much in the shifts, and we hit this over pretty handedly. We'll get into some of the daily specials that relate to that. Then we've got El Perro, Alexander Barkov. That one's for you, Yaya. Over 2.5 shots on goal. He is 6-2 the last 8. He's always a nice bet on this. It's going to be a fun matchup against the Stars for him and their top couple lines. So I expect Barkey to get some good minutes and hit his prop as he always does. And as a man's known to do, Rudo, merely watching, fading the Kraken randomly this week. And I noticed how Jason Robertson has really looked good and checked out those props. He's been hitting those shot on goal props at a very impressive rate, especially in the last 10. And again, in this nice little matchup where I think we should be a lot of excitement and offensive play, maybe a lot of goals. Jason Robertson should get that 2.5 shots on goal at minus 120. Really nice value on that one. Any oppositions?
No, I actually quite like a lot of these bets. On the over for the Avs Coyotes, the Avs have yet to shut out a hockey team this year. They give up a lot of goals. They score a lot of goals. Over it seems like such a good bet almost every single night, especially, again, the Avs are going to get theirs on a night against, 1, the Arizona Coyotes, and 2, the Arizona Coyotes backup. Goals are going in the net tonight. Come on.
And honestly, Rudo, I've noticed this. So we have that mini break, not for all, but for us, it felt like a real break.
Yeah.
And, as guys are missing, and I swear so many starting goalies were out with COVID that the overs just were hitting at an insane rate. Vegas adjusted, the hockey overs almost classically set at 5.5. You will almost never find it now at a book. It's almost always 6 or 6.5, like this Avs game. And still teams are murdering it. The Avs best team against covering the over in the NHL at over 72%. Just absurd. And that's with them adjusting and fixing that at 6 and 6.5. It doesn't matter. It's insane.
You have double-digit games this year where the Avs have covered the over without the other hockey team, just by themselves, scoring 6 or 7 goals.
Right.
It's impressive how, and it goes beyond the Avs too. Scoring is up league wide a little bit, but the Avs especially are just blowing overs out of the water.
Yeah, and I wanted to adjust a little, and I've been trying to mine a few unders, as I do think Vegas has maybe overextended itself, and now that those starting goalies are coming back, I'm seeing it a little more, but it's still not consistent enough to be a real strategy. Right?
Yeah, it'll come eventually,
right.
But the league definitely, it seems like, is still on the offensive tilt. Like you said with Jason Robertson, the dude's over a point per game player. It's basically him and Pavelski dragging Dallas's offense
Oh
around
God,
by
yes.
themselves.
Yep,
So
no kidding.
it's when you see a team that relies on individual players that much, just go into the player props and hammer everything, man. Just get on that player and make yourself some money.
Yeah. Though I will say on the Avs, I stayed away a little on the shots on goal that I love so much. And I like that the only prop you gave out was a point because, in this one, I do worry that the minutes might be a little slimmer for the big dogs later in the game, So like Mac, they adjusted, they set him at 4.5 finally.
I think DraftKings is on to the Avs shots on goal bets a little bit finally. Yeah, this team just, again, their offense this year, it's so high octane that Vegas is having to move all of the lines, right? Because the Avs are just not doing normal hockey stuff. So
yeah, for real. Well, congrats to you on making this your life and getting to cover this team, man.
It's
what
great.
What a joy.
It's great kidding. Right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And as we talk about the overs, hammer the over going on right now at DraftKings. That's NFL playoffs starting this weekend, and that's the New England Buffalo game. It is below 30 now, and you can keep hammering away. It might have dropped below 20 at this point. That's only at DraftKings Sportsbook. All sorts of great odds boost offers, same game parlays where you could use a lot of the bets that Rudo and I just gave out in our big threes to have some fun with the Avs game tonight. Then you could follow along and watch Rudo on the watch along, a little crossover watch along. That might be breaking, but that'll be out on Twitter in a sec. But back to DraftKings. Right now, new users, it's 5 to win 200 on a.
I think it's 280.
Oh my God, insane. Yeah. On any NFL market, it's something like that.
If any wild card team, yeah.
There you go. I mean, just an absurd deal. And that's new users, Colorado only. They're number one in our hearts and number one in the double fisted rankings. Thank you for that. Yeah, really appreciate it.
Beautiful.
It's a great look. So yeah, use that code DNVR. They'll match your first deposit bonus up to $1,000 and give me the rest of the read. Yeah. Let's hammer that away. All right. Must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus and a first bet match, each up to $1,000, each up to $500. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough. Restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. I don't, other people do the reads for me, Rudo. So when I do it,
I think I probably could have recited it from memory. You just throw it to me, and I'd have taken care of it.
I honestly should have. I should do that with everyone that isn't like D-line that I have on here.
There you go.
Let's go to that dilemma. Because again, I'm taking full advantage of having Big Rudo here on the show, and I've got a lot of NHL futures, daily specials, parlays, odds boosts I would like to explore. Let's start with that odds boost, though. You mentioned the Avs sometimes covering the over all by themselves. DraftKings offering the snowfall odds boost, Avs to score 6+. That's at plus 250.
I mean, at plus 250, take it. Throw like half a unit on that and enjoy the free money you get on the opposite side, right? Again, this is, they're not going to be at 100% strength. Byron won't be there, but the Arizona Coyotes are basically icing an AHL team at this point. Yeah. I mean, this should basically be a shooting gallery for Colorado. Their backup goalie is fine. He's not going to be anything special. You can't. Right. It's not going to be like the other night where Arizona beat the Leafs because Vejmelka stood on his head. The Avs don't have to run into that problem. They're going to just 6 is always a big number, but it's one that the Avs have attained, again, double-digit numbers this year. They've scored 6 or more goals. So it's not even that far-fetched for the Avs to get to that number against a decent hockey team, and Arizona's terrible. So
Right. Yeah, it's a great point. Yeah, like it wouldn't be unheard of against the Wild, so to do it against the Coyotes. Not crazy at all. Let's start with the Norris Trophy, where Cale Makar at plus 175. I know it's still fairly early, but man, that seems like almost too good to be true, like value.
Yeah, again, right now for me on DraftKings, Cale Makar is just free money.
Yeah.
He gets me points every single night. He gets me stuff like this. And in my opinion, it's not even that close right now. I think Cale Makar is pretty much running away with the Norris as it stands. At plus 175, you're basically making a bet that Makar stays relatively healthy this season. And if he does, you're going to win that bet. So
right. You are not betting against his fellow competitors here. You are betting against it's still early enough in the season to where a significant injury, and
that's the only thing that's really going to stop him.
That could open the door for some of these other guys. Plus 175, really pretty nice value. How do you see this Calder Trophy race? On the other hand, you've got Zegras, a personal favorite, Lucas Raymond, and Moritz Seider. I mean, Detroit kind of dominates this top 5 candidates. Lots of hype as it was like, oh my gosh, Detroit's relevant going into November. They're not relevant anymore. So Zegras, because he's on the more relevant team, does seem to have a significant advantage, but I don't know.
As far as players that are fun to watch, it's absolutely Zegras. Like,
yes,
if you want to enjoy watching your bet, go watch that kid because he is incredibly fun.
Unbelievable.
Look, I think he probably has the inside line right now, but I'm going to stick with my guns here. I like putting money on defensemen. Moritz Seider, the only defenseman really in the conversation, and you're getting plus 800 there. Mm-hmm. So,
that's really interesting. I like him above Raymond, and I do think he's going to be more consistent. I just, Zegras, it's like the highlights are helping him,
Oh yeah, look, when you do this type of stuff that Zegras does, you get put on the national scale immediately, right? Because he's doing stuff that nobody else can do. But when it comes to the voting core in the NHL, you still have a lot of those hockey dudes, right, who see Moritz Seider as this big defenseman who can play quality defense and also contribute on the offensive side. And he's definitely going to garner votes, being the only defenseman really into that conversation. So I don't know if he wins it. It's pretty hard to bet against Zegras, but at plus 800, I think it's worth it for me to take a serious look at him.
Love that. That is some value right there. I'm most intrigued by the Vezina of the remaining awards. And Jack Campbell's really been impressive, but this feels like a wide open field here. Even Saros feels kind of sneaky, but where are you leaning on this one?
Yeah, look, the big question is, can Jack Campbell keep it up?
Yes.
So far this year, he's the Vezina winner, but there is more than half a season left to go. And before this season, Jack Campbell was nobody. Mm-hmm. So
right.
Can he stay hot for an entire year? That's the big question on him. Never, ever sleep on Andrei Vasilevsky at plus 600. The dude absolutely deserves a Vezina trophy basically every single year. You mentioned Saros at plus 1,400. Nashville has been a little bit of a surprise this year,
right?
As how good they've been. So definitely a good option there. He's actually getting quality goal support this year, and that's leading to a lot of bonuses for him. Honestly, I know a lot of people love Shesterkin, but those would be my 3 finalists today: is Campbell, Vasilevsky, and Saros. So pick your poison out of those 3.
I like that. Yeah, I'm so torn on Campbell because then I think, well, Marner could come back and they could kind of go on a run. Like, he's really carried them, but what if he's still getting the dubs without maybe the same stellar production, but still playing very well,
it's going to take a real performance for someone to catch him. Even if he plays league average for the rest of the season, his numbers are going to be propped up by his first half. So unless he really falls off the cliff, I don't see how he's not at least a finalist. Who wins it? If you know that answer, then let me have your crystal ball, and I'd like to make some money.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to team specific ones. A bet I absolutely hope the Avs do not end up winning the President's Trophy.
It's not a curse. It's fine.
Bigger curse, the President's Trophy or being on a Manning cast?
Ooh. I think it might be the Manning cast based on recent history.
Fair enough. Actually, I think you are right. I love Florida, but again, the Avs scare me, and I really hope they don't win it because, yes, at this point, I am, a bit superstitious about that.
All right. Look, they can win it. They just can't pick up the trophy. All right, it's fine.
Right? Yes, absolutely. I agree completely. Yes.
You got to find ways around those type of things. Glad you mentioned the Panthers. Maybe not President's Trophy, but love them for the Atlantic Division winners at plus 170. It's a great division, but they have the best points percentage in the East right now. Maybe if you even wanted to look at them as conference winners, if you want a little bit better odds, you could go that way with it. You can get them at plus 425 to win the Eastern Conference. So I think they're a really nice bet on the Eastern side of things to get away from the Avs a little bit.
Yes.
Blaze and I have a little bit of a bet going where we on the side we've got a steak dinner on the Panthers making the Cup Finals. So I bet against it. So I'm actually rooting against Florida. But
so who would his candidate to make the final out east be?
He's got the Panthers going all the way.
Who's yours? Sorry.
I just said not the Panthers. My camera died.
Oh, you've got the field. Okay. Well, that's all right. I actually love that the old school lines like that with the one in the middle that has the DNVR logo. I think that's really cool. But it's okay. This it's a visual medium, but we're really here for your opinions, Rudo. So
here we go. We'll switch back to this one.
Oh my God, like fastest legs in the West. How'd you get from set A to set B there? I'm so impressed.
Still working out the kinks with the new camera.
We feel you. No worries at all. Any other division winners that you like here or see as really good value?
I mean, Avs you have to feel pretty good about, obviously. I actually like the Hurricanes there as well. Yeah, they're only plus 110, but they're far and away the best team in that division compared to the Panthers, who have to go up against Toronto and Tampa Bay. So it's interesting in the East because there are about 4 clear-cut teams that are just better than everyone else in the East. Yeah. You kind of focus your betting around those teams and you'll do pretty well.
That's not bad advice. So not a big Pittsburgh believer, huh? As Malkin gets back and everything?
Not in on Pittsburgh. No, I don't believe in Yari keeping it up in goal for them. So
fair enough. I too am a bit of a Yari skeptic. Let me rattle off a few to make the playoffs. Anaheim, where the yes is plus 155.
Yeah, I would say yes at this point. Again, similar to the Jack Campbell conversation, they've started so strong that they just need to play decent hockey, and they can ride that into a playoff spot at this point. Especially, again, the bottom of the West is not great. You're talking about Anaheim. All they really have to do is beat out a team like Dallas for a wild card spot, beat out a team like Edmonton for a wild card spot. It's extremely doable for them.
Yeah, I like that you bring up Edmonton. Their no to make the playoffs was basically the same value. Could it be? A lot of turmoil and mess out there, but I don't know. Hard to bet against some of the high-end talent that's on that squad.
Yeah, I'm never going to tell you to bet against McDavid and Draisaitl, but that team's defense is still not great.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
It's a team that you can teams can score on for sure. So it's tough with them. They're another team that I have pegged as like right on that bubble for a wild card team. I would say Anaheim I'm more confident in than Edmonton being out, just because I think Dallas is the weak link in the Western side. I think Dallas is going to be the team that ends up missing.
Interesting. You could get decent value on that too. Do you think the Kings are in at plus 100?
I'm going to say no on the Kings.
Okay.
I think particularly Calgary right now is the team I expect to ascend in the Pacific a little bit. They have some games in hand. Their points percentage is pretty good. They've
Top
been good
6
this
playing
year.
well.
Yeah, exactly.
Winnipeg to make it, long shot, not a believer. You kind of gave us your bottom of the West, so I'm assuming Winnipeg's on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I would have them out right now. If Connor Hellebuck wakes up and decides he's the guy he was last year, that's hockey for you. If any team's goalie gets hot, there's always a chance they could get in. But as it stands, Winnipeg's got to sort things out a little bit right now. So I'm not going to put them in over a team like Minnesota or somebody like that from the Central.
Fair enough. What about in the East, the Islanders, the late risers every season, plus 350 to make the playoffs? I actually think that might have jumped way up after their win yesterday. They've been on like the longest break of any team.
Yeah, they've had a super significant break.
Yeah.
This is more AJ's territory than mine, probably, when you're talking about the Islanders. I'm not very high on their second half of their season. I don't really think they can turn it around. But like you said, they have pretty much 5+ games in hand on everyone ahead of them. So in 3 weeks, they could be right back in the mix.
Yeah, Varley's back. Anders Lee, Nelson, Barzal, those guys get going a little bit. I could see it somewhat. Plus 350. I'm intrigued. I'll say that. Though then I think like that's almost as good a value as the Avs just scoring 6 or more goals tonight. And it's like, I should just spend my money that way.
There you go.
Can I force your hand into a over under money line parlay for the 3 games tonight?
Yeah. All right.
So Ottinger, Bobrovsky, Florida, Dallas, set at 6.5.
I like the over there just because of Florida. Their offense is too good, and I refuse to be a believer in Braden Holtby in net for Dallas. I just refuse to do it. I don't think it's sustainable by any stretch of the imagination. And Ottinger too. Look, Ottinger's going to be a good goaltender. Just calm down. Just calm down. He's still young. All right, give it time. Give it time.
Okay. We don't accept American goalie slander on this podcast, Rudo. So you've been warned. I'll just let you know.
All right. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. And you like Florida on the money line here.
I do for sure. Yeah.
Then we have Anaheim against Minnesota, Kakkonen against Stolars here in goal.
Yep.
And the over 5.5.
Double backup. I think you take it. Somehow Troy Terry's scoring has kept up this year, so don't bet against the Denver kid.
Never.
Yeah.
Or Mr. America because of all those shootout wins he had back in the day.
We don't slander any Americans on this podcast, I guess.
Damn straight. Not hockey players. We slander plenty of American athletes, just not American hockey players.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Important specification.
I actually do like the Ducks there, though, to win the game.
I love it. I love it. We can't have all faves. This was the one where the dog felt spicy. Love it. I actually kind of, aside from the fact that their jerseys really are hideous and their colors are terrible, I really enjoy watching the Ducks this year, especially if Gibson's in goal.
Yeah,
I mean, Sonny and Zegras. How could you not?
Yeah, between those two, Getzlav having a little bit of a resurgence at the end of his career. He remembered how to pass a puck, so
fun.
They're living the dream right now.
And then Avs, it's kind of written over in Avs.
Yep,
not much to talk about. So
he's minus 650 on the money line for the Avs tonight. Exactly. That's outrageous.
It adds, even though it's a 5-legger and this is a 6th leg, it only adds 300 points of value, but that's plus 2,686. That's not bad. That's it's 5 to win 140. Could do worse.
That's pretty good money right there for sure. Just you hit that Ducks bet, and I think you're looking pretty darn good.
And who doesn't want to root against the Wild on a snowy Friday night?
True.
See? Rudo and his whole crew, of course. You find that DNVR Avalanche, Twitter, YouTube, on our site. They're going to be doing a pregame. Then Rudo's doing a watch along. As I mentioned, it's a crossover with the PHNX Coyotes guys, and then a post game. So he's got you covered with everything and anything Avs. Between this show, you'll be like live for 7 hours this evening.
Yeah, that's what we like to do here. All hockey all the time, baby.
It's beautiful. What a way to live. So check his stuff out. Thank you, my friend. I need to place all these bets because I actually feel great about all of these. Yaya, happy weekend to you. Best of luck to you all on your picks. And if you're wondering what, no NFL picks, it's the Friday show. We have a wild card weekend tomorrow, special edition, tailgate, playoff edition. We will be previewing all the games, giving you all our picks. So you better tune in then. Same YouTube channel. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Happy weekend.